Hey, goddess, welcome back. It is Andrea with You Are Mind, Body, Soul. I hope that you are doing well since the last time we spoke. I feel like it has been a hot minute. It's been a couple weeks. I have been on my mind, body, soul cleanse. So I've cleansed out my diet, my nutrition, and now I'm in the part where I actually cleanse myself from media. So I'm taking a few days away from Instagram and Twitter, and I just wanted to jump on here and just have a chat about presence and nurturing your feminine energy. Okay. So, what is presence? Presence is when we are actually able to be in the moment, fully immersed with what is going on and everything that is happening right now. We are not in the past, and we are also not in the future. And this is directly correlated with your feminine energy, because feminine energy and vitality is awareness, it is present, it is what is being created in this very moment. So the feminine essence is to create, it is to fill up the space. And the masculine essence is to actually be goal oriented, task oriented, and things like that. So when we are on our journey of feminine energy and feminine embodiment, being able to be present with ourselves will be one of the greatest gifts that we can give ourselves. And this was something that I really started to embody and get comfortable with as I was in my journey with yoga and doing my yoga certification. Being present was something that was talked about a lot, especially when you get into any kind of movement practice like dance or yoga. It's very important to allow yourself to be inside of your actual body. And oftentimes, as a dance instructor, as an instructor of movement, I find that my students, they actually are, in their heads. We are judging ourselves, and we all do it. We are all guilty, no matter how amazing of a mover you are, or if it is your first class. Oftentimes we automatically revert back to judging ourselves. And this is something that society has simply taught us. So if you're resonating with this message already, please go ahead and like, subscribe, and share this video. I'm trying to get into the habit of remembering to give that message. So please like, share this, and subscribe if you are vibing with this message. Okay. So, a lot of times students will come to me and I will teach them a move, or I'll teach them a combo, and it will look wonderful. And I'm like, you're doing a great job. You look good. And yet they judge themselves. And, it is just something that is a part of human nature. We can't help it. But as women, it's important for us to become the witness of ourselves. So the divine feminine creates. She is the essence that lights up the place, fills up the space. And the divine masculine, it is a masculine act to be able to witness the feminine. So if we want to be more comfortable in our femininity, it is important for us to be able to sit in the moment, be with our feelings, even be with your thoughts. A lot of people get meditation confused, and they think that mainstream, it depicts meditation as you kind of rejecting any thoughts that come into your mind and making yourself completely silent and completely empty. But meditation is actually allowing those thoughts to come in and out, and you allow them to pass like clouds, versus clinging on to the judgment of the fact that you are thinking, or of the judgment of whatever thought is coming to mind. So when you are present, you are allowing yourself to witness whatever is coming up inside of your body, whatever is coming up inside of your mind. And as you start to get it deeper into your journaling practice, which we talk about a lot in the course, and anytime I'm having conversations with clients, all of my clients, they have journals, right? So when you are in your journaling practice, and when you're in your self-study, as you begin to, dive deeper into this journey and get more curious about yourself, you will allow yourself to be the witness. And when you are a witness to yourself, you are non-judgmental. We want to be in the practice of non-judgment. So you can be neutral in your view and in your observation with yourself. And this is something, it's so important to be able to get good at this for so many reasons. As women, we have a lot of emotional fluctuations throughout the month. So depending on what phase of your hormonal cycle throughout the month is, your body is going to be putting out different neurochemicals, different hormones, and this is going to trigger you in ways that are different. So one of the ways of becoming a witness of that is in your journal. Start to be aware of the emotional patterns, the emotional levels, the vibrational frequency, like we talked about in previous videos, that you are at as your hormones begin to shift. And I find that a lot of women, we are disconnected with these things because we'll be on our moon cycle, or our moon cycle will be coming, and we don't stop and sit and allow ourselves to just rest and to pause. And if we do, oftentimes we feel guilty about it. But it is such a sacred thing when you are actually having your womb cycle. The amount of messages and the downloads that I get when my period is coming, they are immense. I get like my most amazing ideas when I am ovulating. I feel the most creative, the most fertile when it comes to what I want to create. And then when my cycle actually comes on, it points me directly to the things that I need to release. So when you're PMSing and when you're moody and you're being triggered by different things, it's an opportunity for you to become a witness of, well, what is my body telling me? What are my mental programs telling me about what I'm experiencing right now emotionally? Because you can always purge that out. You can always get present with your emotions, and you can ask yourself, is this emotion that I want to regulate by purging and releasing this emotion? Or is this an emotion that is going to serve me, that I can then transition that emotion into a positive thought or positive action in order to see that transformed into something else? And all of this comes from being present and being a witness with yourself. You can create and you can transform in the most alchemical of ways just by sitting and being present with yourself every day. This should just be a habit, okay? So it's important for us to know what we are absorbing in life, especially if you're an introvert or an empath. And if you're on my channel and you resonate with my message, chances are you are an empath. You're a very sensitive being. And so it's important to know when you're taking on other people's energies, when you are adopting other people's ideas for what your life should be or what life in general should be. And a lot of times we absorb things through conversations, we absorb things from social media, which is why I'm, taking the opportunity to share this with you while I'm taking a break from social media. Because in this world, when we are trying to find the answers to the most simplest of things, the first thing that we do typically is we're going to pick up the phone to go and find that answer. Right? Or you're going to consult someone that you think can give you the answer. But it is a powerful goddess alchemist that can sit with themselves and go inside and find the answer to that question, or at least consult yourself and consult your inner wisdom. And this is the power that we all have as activated feminine, right? And every man and every woman has masculine and feminine energy inside of them. It's not just for women, but women, because we have wombs and because it is a natural, the feminine constitution is to be open and to be receptive. We are able to do these things more easily. The divine feminine is the oracle. So we are more connected to the collective consciousness, to the consciousness of planet Earth. We are meant to bring forth those messages. We are the record keepers, right? So it's important to be able to do that with yourself. So how do we create presence? Okay. The best way to go about creating presence with yourself is to learn how to sit in silence. And I know that a lot of times silence can be very uncomfortable, especially if you have undergone any kind of trauma and you haven't had the time taken the time to sit and to work through that trauma, or if you haven't gone and sought out counseling for that trauma or read up on any ways to kind of start to purge those things out of your body. You know, a lot of times I'll have clients that come to me and they are afraid of even sitting in silence. And it can be very daunting when you have so many different vibrations going on inside of your body that you think are yours. There are thoughts that we have in our minds that are not even our thoughts. And so if we don't allow ourselves the grace and the space to just sit down in silence, then we will never be able to tell the difference between what energies and thoughts and frequencies belong to us versus that which has been influenced by the world. So just sit in silence. Or you can take different opportunities, like when you're in the shower. When we are in the shower, it is research shows that our brain waves actually slow down. So we're in a more relaxed, impressionable state when we're in the shower. So when you're in the shower, you can just tune in with the sound of the water. You can tune in with the sound of your breath and allow yourself to be present. And again, what we want to do is allow ourselves to be the witness, a non-judgmental witness. So you're not sitting in silence with the expectation of anything to come up except what is there and what you are ready to see. Because another thing is that the subconscious mind is very powerful. So a lot of times our subconscious mind will naturally protect ourselves from the things that we know will be anxiety provoking or create fear. And, you know, if you are hesitant to sit in silence or to cultivate presence and stillness with yourself, one of the things that I want you to start to say to yourself from today on is the mantra, I am safe. Just start to tell yourself every day throughout the day, I am safe. I am safe in my body. I am safe in this present moment. And I can tell you that this mantra helped me to reprogram myself from a lot of things that happened in my life. I was verbally abused as a child. I was physically abused as a child. I was abandoned. I was ignored. I was outcasted. I was taken advantage of throughout my whole life. And so my nervous system, my hormone system was always one that was on fight or flight. And when I really started to get into those quiet spaces, and I would tap into the places where I held on to fear, which for a lot of us are in our heart space. For me, it was in my heart space and it was in my throat space. So there was always like this tightness and like this solid kind of energy, this heaviness around this area, because I was always afraid of being open because of everything that I had been through, people taking advantage of me, you know, and the abandonment and all of those things. It kind of hardened me. And this is the body's natural response mechanism to trauma, which serves us in a way that allows us to protect ourselves. But as you begin to evolve in your journey, you begin to realize that you need to show up for your life in a different way. So once you're done running, or once you are done hiding, or once you have used up those coping mechanisms to get you to the place where you are in life now, then you can start to cultivate some new positive habits that allow you to reopen yourself and to re-expand to yourself, so that you can start to absorb and that you can start to receive the positive nourishment that presence in this life affords you. The answer to so many things is just showing up and being present. Because being present, especially as a woman, is a gateway to so many magical things, namely the reality in which you choose and the reality in which you desire for yourself. If you never show up and allow yourself to have a conversation about what you really want, and anytime your desires come online that you feel inspired by, and the ego self comes in, which is usually the voice of something or someone that you have adopted, comes in and it overshadows what your heart is telling you, then you are not allowing yourself to really step into the vibration in which you were meant to be. And the vibration in which you were meant to be is one that is open, that is shining. You have a significant place in this world. And it is a collective conscious illness of the divine feminine to feel small and to feel undesired and to feel as if we don't have a place in this world, just by way of what we have experienced over the last hundreds of years in our human existence, and what has happened to us through the male patriarchy, and what has happened to us because of the fear that men have for divinely activated women. So this is why we allow ourselves to be non-judgmental witnesses, because a lot of the times the stuff that we feel, the fears that we face at a baseline level are very real. They're very real. This stuff is in our DNA, it is in our consciousness, it is in our psyche. But we live in a day where we have so much power over all of this, because there is so much opportunity for us to heal these karmic and these energetic patterns. And these patterns don't even have to branch back as far as centuries. They can branch back simply to our mothers or to our grandmothers. All of those things are passed along in our wombs, and it is our responsibility, each and every one of us, to sit with ourselves and to seek out that healing within ourselves first. If you are always going out and instead of seeking the answers for yourself, asking yourself those questions, you need someone to guide you and to be the answer for you, then you are not taking advantage of your divine feminine birthright, your divine feminine essence. Your divine feminine birthright in essence is to be able to find these answers for yourself. And that is the problem with technology. Technology is replacing the things that we are able, it is replacing our muscle of intuition, right? There is a strong, distinct muscle and gift that each one of us as human beings have. But if we don't use those muscles, then we lose those muscles. So it's important for you to find that power within yourself, have that conversation with yourself, and call back your power to activate these gifts, to activate these powers. And you can see this as a superpower. You can see this as something that was already given to you, but you just chose not to receive it and to acknowledge it, and you get activated. But before you go and conquer the world, before I get into warrior goddess mode and I'm trying to call forth all the forces, just be still. Just be still. And listen to the sound of your breathing. Put your hand over your heart and feel your heartbeat. And fill yourself up with gratitude for the power of your being, for the power of being you. Because there is only one you in this planet, honey. We don't get another. And you are so special. And there is no one in this world that is going to validate your uniqueness and that is going to validate your specialness and your deservingness and your worthiness if you don't do it for yourself. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been wonderful to chat with you. Please check out my ebook, Exploring Your Divine Feminine Potential. The link is below. If you want a one-on-one session with me of awakening and aligning with me, you can have your first session for free. And to stay in touch, please join my email list. All of that is linked below. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next one. One love.